Good evening. I just had an epiphany about what will transpire in the coming days as Israel will be meeting with Saudi Arabia. And I really believe this will be the beginning of the end of a lot of, well, and not in so many words, but the beginning of Jacob's trouble. Um, I just can't put it into words what came into my spirit about this treaty that will be brokered. There's a lot of demands that are going to be put on Israel. Israel is agreeing to a lot of decisions to separate the West Bank and divide Israel's Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, that is, in order to appease these agreements, um, all in to protect themselves from Iran. And these agreements that are going to be made, this is coming September, I believe September 20th and 21st is the dates that this all transpired. At first, I was a little annoyed. I have a lot of Jewish relatives that don't believe in Jesus as we speak. And it's unheard of to really speak on this because I don't have the words for it. When I ask them, do they understand? You can't possibly imagine what I go through when I try to have a discussion about the Word of God and where Jesus fits in all this. It's quite a discussion. It doesn't get anywhere. In fact, no traction at all. It's quite hard to talk to a Jewish person that has all their life believed in the Jewish traditions. And to be quite frank, it's not an easy discussion to have. But when you look at the Feast of Trumpets as a Jewish holiday, they look at it that way for a reason because it wasn't fulfilled by Jesus naturally. It was always looked as a Jewish holiday to them in their eyes. Now, Jesus fulfilling this as his appointed time would totally blow the Jewish people away. Like the rapture of the church would be so significant to the Jewish people that they wouldn't know what to make of this. That would be so significant. The rapture of the church happening on Feast of Trumpets, that would blow the whole narrative away. The days of awe following the Feast of Trumpets. I mean, and then him fulfilling day, uh, the Day of Atonement, and also Tabernacles. These are Jewish high holidays, and doing it on Rosh Hashanah. I just want to give you a Jewish perspective on this because we all know Pentecost was fulfilled by Jesus. We know that all the other fall appointed times were fulfilled by Jesus, but they're not acknowledged by the Jewish people, okay? Just like when we go backwards, we look at all the fall appointed times. It blows my mind when I think about it. Uh, they were all fulfilled by Jesus. So that they don't celebrate those like Pentecost. And I could go on here, but the point I'm trying to say is to minister to an average Jewish person about Jesus, it brings me back to the point of the Jacob's trouble. And this it's why I'm doing this report on how it is to minister to somebody that's Jewish. They wouldn't understand this because the concept of this being fulfilled by Jesus doesn't make any sense to them whatsoever. It's always been known to be fulfilled in celebrated by the Jewish tradition by Jewish people. Pray for Israel is all I can say, because Jacob's trouble would truly be the beginning of what I believe is going to be the signing over of East Jerusalem and the dividing of the land. And if that is going to happen, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. And I just had to say that I hesitate because I know for a fact that this is a significant time of the new covenant of what is we know as Daniel 9:27 and the beginning of Jacob's trouble. So we must pray for Israel. They, like God said in the Bible, that he will open their eyes and the blind will see again. And they've been blinded. But what happens during that time of Jacob's trouble, we could only imagine what happens to Israel in the midst of this. Of course, we know Psalm 83 and Ezekiel 38:39 are just a few wars that will be fought in the midst. But we know in the Bible it says much more, and I don't have enough tape to go on about it, but I just wanted to say this. We must pray for Israel to wake up. I hope and pray that a few Jewish people do get this much before it's too late, because the soon return of the Lord is coming, and he is a Jewish God, and he's our God. He is a God of many, and there's so many people that need to hear what's going to happen before the soon return of the Lord. Let this be a warning that the soon return of the Lord is near, and nearer than you think. If you haven't heard the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, that he came to save the lost and brokenhearted, and his blood was shed for many that do not reject the word of God and do not reject Jesus. And it's imperative, I feel it in my heart, to share this. And that's all I really wanted to share for the time being. Thank you for listening, and God bless you, and have a good night.